What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we are testing more of Soren and doing a little bit more deep dive on the hero. If you guys didn't see the summons and you didn't see the skill breakdown and everything, go check out the probably last night's video at this point. But right now we need to do a little bit more deep dive because on average, TLDW, you didn't watch it. If you don't have an Alsa, I don't think he's necessarily a hero you want to go for. He seems like an AFK battle synergy hero with Alsa. He seems like he is a PvP oriented hero, and he can be decent. One thing I want to break down are his base stats with another supreme hero that we have, Arden. So you can see here he's got like 192 million HP, 22,000 attack. If you go over and check out a similar hero, less HP, more attack, kind of in the same ballpark, kind of, not really if you compare it straight to Alsa. And we check out those stats. Alsa has even more HP and attack, but you have to remember the exclusive is going to play a role in this. That's why I think the Soren to Arden combo, like, that's kind of the closest you're going to see in all the stats. 5.6, 5.4. 4.7. So he is a squishier version in a way if you want to compare him directly to Arden, because they both have plus 10. The only other kind of downside is he doesn't have the bonus stats from these items here, which would make a difference. Most likely stats wise he's very similar to Arden, but not quite there. But again, if we don't have this on him, it's really hard to compare one to one. It's getting to the point where there's so many things going on that you might not have a perfect comparison between two direct heroes. Because another thing I just realized too, no, they're both 330, so at least there's that. Stats wise, he's pretty much Arden 2.0. Now his abilities. When I say Arden 2.0, I don't mean how he works, because he's almost the complete opposite of Arden. Again, Arden's ultimate, and especially exclusive, groups everybody up with the ultimate at the beginning of battle, whereas Soren, when he does get an ultimate, or uses his repel sweeping, he's pushing everybody away. So if you're trying to use a hero like Arden, Carolina, anybody wanting that tight-knit AoE damage, Soren is not for them. What Soren does synergize very well with is, of course, Alsa. Alsa having her walls are absolutely amazing. The stone barrier creates another spot on the battlefield for his pushback abilities right here to do amazing things, because he deals additional damage when he pushes them back. He also stuns them, and then when he takes a certain amount of damage, he can proc it again, and he can jump around the battlefield with his whirlwind swing, go all over the place. We'll show you some in combat type things, and we'll show you where he can be good at and where he really sucks at. You know what? I think I decided I'm going to show you where he sucks at. I've already seen somebody else use him in this type of game mode. We're just going to try to kind of swap out a hero in this lineup to see if we can make him work at all. Typically, though, Alsa is the much better hero. Let's just see how that happens. He's even level 330, while everybody else on this account is 321, so he has a level advantage. The biggest issue I've seen with him, though, is survivability. On top of that, most of his damage does come from the fact that he pushes back, stuns, and knocks down enemies. If he doesn't have that possibility, like on a boss, to push back enemies, to do that type of damage, he's not going to be able to do damage, essentially. So that's kind of the big downside on that right there. Looks like he's tanky enough for the battle that we're on right now against King Croaker. You can see our Thorn is, of course, taking those bubbles here, but comparing an Odie to him is going to be a good judge to show how the strongest heroes do and the weakest ones. This might actually kill him. No, he did survive, which is good. 30 seconds left. I feel like after Thorn goes down, he's going to get bullied really hard here. Granted, we could do the Reinier swap on him instead. He does die with 20 seconds left, but even if he would have survived, I don't think it's going to be much better. We'll try it here in a second. We'll try swapping him instead of the Odie, so you guys can get a look to see maybe if his survivability is good, but he's getting like one shot from everything that I've seen here. I'm prepared to see his damage similar to Reinier, to be honest. A support hero. Yeah, his damage is poopy dukes. Yes, it's really bad. So number one, he is not a boss damage healer like Alsa was. Alsa's amazing. He's not so much on bosses. Now, AFK Battles, he's actually really good. We've been doing some testing with different teams without Arden that have worked pretty good, but let's be honest, he kind of fits perfectly into one team that I absolutely love right now. and that includes swapping the Aaron over the other side. Granted, we could try swapping him too, and then throwing Arden in the team. But again, like I said, Arden is kind of like an oxymoron in this team because you almost don't want to be swapping, to be pushing enemies back. But if you can keep them in a corner with Aaron, it can kind of work out where he then sweeps everybody together. But again, one of the biggest issues he does have in a lot of these battles is his survivability, and you have to remember he is Supreme Plus and everything, but the amount of damage incoming can be way too much for him. So let's see what it would look like if we swap with Reinier instead and we get the Aaron maybe a little bit more protective. Let's see what happens. He's going to go right into the enemy formation. He's going to potentially knock them all back. It does give him more survivability where he's not like immediately running to the front row of the formation. His damage can be actually really, really solid. And you see right there that ultimate ability, he jumped around the battlefield with his ultimate to do damage. And he does have survivability with haste and healing right here. That aura, once he goes under 60% HP, you can see now he's healing at 10. He's going all over the battlefield. 1v1 versus Igor. I don't know if he has enough survivability here. Maybe he does. There's another tombstone going up. Probably going to go down. It's close. He's continuing to heal. Igor's down in the last one. He did go down though, so he did not come through clutch for us. But you can see his damage can be respectable. His healing can be respectable. The damage taken can be respectable. But I just don't know if a hero like Arden necessarily fits into this style team. In reality, I think doing something like this, much like we did with Alsa when she first came out, might be the good option here, where you get super protection on him, let him jump into the enemy formation. You can then, in the meantime, take out this enemy while he just goes on the other side and starts hopefully sweeping across the enemies and taking them out. But the big issue I have with this is he's not taking damage, which means he's not resetting his sweep ability. And when he takes damage and resets his sweep ability, he actually knocks everybody back 2 tiles instead of 1, which means it's a much better chance that this is going to knock them off the battlefield into the edges, and then you have a better chance here. Now that Igor is probably done for because you got 2 heroes essentially trying to stun him. He did take out the Alsa though. It scares me. It scares me a lot. I hate Igor. Igor waves are toxic. They're so bad. He is still somehow alive, and maybe we can finish this off now that we have the Thorn. And nope. Igor. You gotta love it. So you can see still pretty decent damage, but even with that type of setup, we are lacking. Whereas I feel like if we went like with a more traditional team that we've been running lately, and maybe even doing, actually, you know what? I think maybe swapping the wrong hero is what's going on here. We need to try to swap someone like maybe the Merrily or something, and run a team composition a little bit more like this. We could even still throw the Thorn in for some extra protection here. One thing I do like with the Reinier swapping is the fact that your Alsa will not suicide into the enemy formation on first ultimate. She stays on your side of the battlefield, which is a huge positive. And then we can kind of watch and see what our Soren is doing here. Again, he's not really taking the damage in this situation though. It's really hard because you want him taking damage, but at the same time, it's really bad for him to take damage because he does tend to be a little squishy. We do have to remember he doesn't have any of his magic charms in this situation, and now that Igor's left, if we can't win with our entire team, Igor's too overpowered. So in this initial setup, he seems pretty solid. Again, Alsa is the show here, but again, Alsa's walls are making him stun more targets, which then means Alsa is doing additional damage because again, every time somebody gets stunned with the Alsa, that is a huge bonus. Both of their damage goes up. Her damage goes up with any time these boulders go off, these rolling boulders, and beyond that, with her enhanced force at Supreme Plus, her rolling boulder deals extra damage when enemies receive multiple control effects. So adding on that knockback, that stun is going to be a huge help for him. So overall, I'd say in like AFK battles, he can be very good, but remember, he's pushing everybody away. Aaron's pulling everybody in. Not really made to be on like the same team. Now, to kind of show you guys what it would look like without an Alsa, man, this might be a little bit of a sketchy team right here. We're going to try to run a little bit more of like a Mauler-centric type team to see how this turns out with him on the battlefield as well. Maybe run someone like Shakir or something like that. Not running Alsa just feels so bad so often. But we can try to build a team similar like this. We'll go for a quick Coco ultimate. and see what his damage reduction's like. He's already taken a lot of damage, and he's already dead before Coco even gets that ultimate off. And remember, he's got that link with Soren, so he's taking like 50% less damage. You definitely don't want him exposed in these battles. Let's try something else. Let's go with something like a full Mauler type team, and I kind of want to put him even further back in the formation to give him as much time as possible to not die. We want the other heroes taking the damage, which again is weird because you want him to take damage, but at the same time, you don't want him to take damage. He's so squishy, even with those giant damage reductions he has. Now, you can see here, he has insane healing going on now that he dropped below 60% HP, but it's still not even enough. And when you don't have Alsa on the squad, I don't know if he's as influential. We, of course, have Odie carrying us here. I don't know if Odie's going to get the kill or not. No, he didn't get the kill. Let's take a look at the scorecard right here. Solid damage. Like, when you want to compare the actual overall damage of this hero in AFK battles, really good. It's just when you have an Alsa on the team, this damage number changes a ton, because we can show you the same exact battle and maybe drop out the Odie for the Alsa and see what happens the damage wise here. Usually he does good damage compared to other heroes, but when you have him also proccing tons of Alsa damage, that's when his damage looks like it's bad, but in reality it's still very, very good. It's just Alsa in this combination is completely overpowered, which as I said, you don't necessarily need him if you don't have Alsa built, but if you do have Alsa built, I think he is a must-have hero, especially if you have investment on your Alsa like I have. He can be absolutely insane. Now watch, her damage is through the roof, but he's still doing very, very good damage, and Shakir's aura with the 3 Maulers, kind of cool. So this is a different team if you're already running like the Wilder, Aaron, Arden, Carolina, Thorin type team. This is a second team that can do a ton of AoE damage, just in a different way. Now remember, this is more or less a first look at the hero. We are going to need the whole weekend and everything to kind of test him out in different game modes. I do want to try him in some PvP though, because, well, I was already running a Shakir type team that was doing very, very well. I kind of want to see how this works in a similar setup. So where are my Maulers? Because I essentially run one of the most offensive setups possible here, except we are going to run him now too. I'm just not confident of putting him too close to the battle. I almost want to try to keep him a little safe and maybe run like a triple lineup like that. We're not going to run any support, and I'm going to keep Aaron in the lineup too. We're going to keep the confining spell because that's another proc for Alsa. Let's see how he does here. If he runs in from the side, kind of taking a look. Oh my gosh, he already got beat up pretty hard. He might die. Let's see if he dies to the Alsa damage. Not quite. Is he doing anything right now? I can't particularly tell. He didn't get Nova'd in by the Aaron, which is good. He's still alive. He's healing, and he's got a ton of haste. He's got an ultimate, which again does a big amount of damage with that AoE. And again, every time he stuns something, it doesn't matter where on the battlefield, Alsa is doing bonus damage. And this is why I love running a Shakir Mauler very offensive team with 0 support heroes, because your whole goal is just get rid of this team as fast as possible. And some of these heroes have some self-sustain, like Alsa has her shielding, Soren has his healing, Shakir has his healing, Brutus has his immortality, and all these heroes work really, really well together, it seems like. So the walls kind of blocked off our own progress, and we will have a lot more going on for this, because this team feels like it's going to be really, really strong. Let's see if we can find an enemy that has the more traditional squad here. I don't want to do that. I want to find someone with like a very traditional, I'm hiding my Arden in the corner type team. Yeah, something like this. This is a very traditional team. No Carolina, more support going on here. I'm going to drop a couple of you heroes out, and we're going to go with something like this. And, man, who do I want to put in the last one? We'll put the Brutus in here to kind of get that initial tank support. We'd actually do something like this completely. This might actually screw up their Nova and run this. Let's see what happens. Let's see where the enemy Aaron uses his ability. Yeah, kind of grouped them up, but let's see what this actually looks like with potentially Soren getting in there and doing damage and knocking enemies back. Oh, that team just annihilated me still. We did not get the kills fast enough. This is the problem going against the Damien and Haywin combo here. They kind of give enough support that you can't one-shot the enemy fast enough. And you see here, we still have a couple heroes alive. The survivability of both Soren and Shakir is very good in comparison to other heroes, but they're just getting chain CC'd at this point. Maybe running the ability to keep him uncrowd controlled would be good. Shakir doing damage, him doing damage. Let's try one more just so you guys get a first taste of some PvP battles. Again, some of these were hitting up on damage by quite a bit. This one I feel like would be really bad though, because we're running into a funnel. I kind of want to swap him and see what happens. I kind of want to do this, get the Carolina, and honestly do something even crazy with a Reese in the back row. Let's just see if this works with the Mauler comp with the swapping. So he gets to the back line. He did get stunned back there. He's taking that out. Let's see. Everybody's still pretty healthy. Wow. Wow, he just destroyed the entire team with that combo. And he's going to get an ultimate too right here. Nope, didn't even need an ultimate. I'm telling you guys, Reese is strong too. Y'all sleep on Reese in PvP. Very strong. So yeah, he combos really well with Alsa because it gives him additional damage, and he can be good. He definitely can be good, but for an average player, this is why I'm saying his overall score is going to be meh. He can be good, he can be bad. He's not a bosser. Alsa is a bosser. If you don't have Alsa, probably don't need Soren. If you have Alsa, definitely build Soren. It's a very much mixed feelings hero. We're gonna have to test him out even more and try different combos. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what you want to see me test with this hero, whether it's team compositions, game modes, anything. Leave a comment down below, hit that subscribe button because we're gonna have a ton of videos of Soren coming out this week, and I'll see you guys next time.